name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated, stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated, stupid can't play with smart. 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 Hey, I got a lady. Hey, I got a lady. Hey, name is the upper echelon. She a debater.
Hey,
She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated.
people can't play with smart.
She got the smart. She got the smart. She got the heart. She got the heart. She got the confidence.
Okay, y'all. All right, let's get it. I told y'all I was coming back, and I'm back. Hopefully, my audio is good and everything. So, you know they like to move the goalposts, right? You know they like to move the goalposts. Let me tell you something about me. I like to debate. That's like my favorite path. Like, I love to debate. Some people want to call it arguing. I call it debating. Okay, I don't like to argue. I like to debate. And I like to present facts. So now the goalpost has been moved. Now we've been talking about this damn near all day. I think this might got to be my third live. But like I said, every single time I see misinformation, I'm going to check it. So the first piece of misinformation was that Miss Holly wasn't in a school zone. So now we've showed that Miss Holly was in a school zone. So now it's being said that Miss Holly may have been in the school zone, but she wasn't on school property. Let's check that out. Let's look and see what the legalities are, right? So I looked up the laws, because remember, it's facts over feelings, remember? So we got to look up the laws, because we want to make sure that we're only presenting facts, because this isn't about how we feel or what we would do or our personal experience. It's about facts, right? So what I did was, and I got this idea from one of my supporters because she did it and she inboxed me, so I did it myself. I actually took the map that was pulled from the Chicago Public Schools website, where it shows all of the boundaries within the matter of fact, if you guys didn't see it, let me pull that up first if you guys didn't see it, okay? So what I did, because the first thing that was being said, now the goalpost is being moved, but the first thing that was said is that Miss Holly was not in a school zone. So one of my supporters and friends, Miss Rich, who is also from the city of Chicago, she was able to pull the actual borders of the school zone from the Chicago Public Schools website, showing us exactly what the school zone is. Now, everything that is outlined in blue, that is the school zone. Everything within those borders is the school zone, okay? 20 West Cermak falls within those borders, meaning that the incident of the homicide was in a school zone. But now that the goalpost is being moved, let's talk about the new debate. Okay, so the new debate is that even though she was in a school zone, she wasn't on school property, right? Now I want us to remember something. Hold on, where's that music coming from? Oh, even now the newest debate, since it was debunked that she wasn't in a school zone. Okay, now the newest claim is that she was in a school zone, but she wasn't on school property. Now, so let's talk about that. Okay, let me pull the map down. So what I did was I actually took this map here and uploaded it into ChatGPT. Okay, I uploaded this map that was taken from the Chicago Public Schools website, in which you can type in any Chicago Public Schools and it will show you where the school zone lies. Okay, now let's get away from this and let's pull up the laws about school zones and firing weapons. Now, we also want to remember that this case is still open. It has not been determined that this was a justifiable homicide, nor has it been determined that this wasn't a justifiable homicide. So we're still up in the air. Now, we are talking about any event that this was not a justifiable homicide, because that's what I believe. Allegedly, obviously, it's not a fact, it's what I believe, because the case is still being investigated. However, if a firearm is fired within these borders, if within these borders you are within 1,000 feet from the school, then you, my friend, are breaking the law. So let's go to ChatGPT and let's pull up the laws in the state of Illinois. Okay, I didn't come live to tell you guys what I think, what I feel, what may be, what may not be, what happened in my life, but what the actual law is what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull it up. Okay, so I basically asked if the incident happened on 20 West Cermak, were there any laws broken in regards to gun laws, so on and so forth, right? So this is what ChatGPT said. Let's see. 1, location. 20 West Cermak Road is inside a school zone. Your map shows that 20 West Cermak Road falls within the blue bordered school zone boundary of National Teachers Academy, located on 55 West Cermak Road. That means that this address lies, let's pay attention to this part because I think this is the most important part, okay? So I want people to, and the reason why, again, this is so important to me is because I want factual information to be shown within this case. It must be factual, because one of the things that a lot of bloggers, a lot of content creators really like what the debate here is, you know, we're not working on emotions, we're working on facts. So in fact, when the facts are actually presented, we must respect the facts. We cannot try to change the facts because it's not going along with what we've been thinking since the case opened. Even if the facts go against what we initially thought, you still have to accept it. So now we've proved that Miss Holly was in a school zone, and now we've proved that Miss Holly was within 1,000 feet from the school. And now we're going to talk about what the laws are regarding that in the event that Miss Holly committed an unjustifiable homicide. Okay, so let me put up my disclaimer really quick and let's continue reading. So let's start over. Your map shows, and I showed you guys the map, that 20 West Cermak Road falls within the blue bordered school zone boundary of National Teachers Academy, located on 55 West Cermak. This means this address lies within 1,000 feet of school property. So Illinois and federal school zone restrictions do apply. Can I get some, can you guys give me some hashtags in the chat? I need hashtag the great debater in the chat. Can you guys drop those for me? Hashtag the great debater in the chat for me, okay? So now that we know that the actual crime scene, which was documented to have been at 20 West Cermak Road, does lie within 1,000 feet of school property. It's so Illinois, and it is an Illinois and federal school zone, and the restrictions do apply. So yes, the location, the crime scene itself counts as being in a school zone, but not only in a school zone, but also within 1,000 feet of school property. even though it's a public street and not on school property. Am I making sense? I'm trying to break it down so that everybody understands what I'm saying. So hopefully I'm making sense. Okay, great. So let's continue on. 2, Illinois law on firearms in or near a school. And when it says near a school, that would mean anywhere within the school property, meaning the school's parking lot, the playground on the school, or anywhere within 1,000 feet of the school. Okay. Under 720 ILCS 5/24, it is illegal to knowingly possess or carry a firearm on or about the person on a public way within 1,000 feet of school property. Should I read that again? How about I copy it and paste it in the chat? I might pin it for everybody. So let's read that again. Knowingly possess, it's illegal to knowingly possess or carry a firearm on or about the person on a public way within 1,000 feet of the school. And again, as we know, 20 West Cermak is, according to ChatGPT, after I uploaded the map, 20 West Cermak is within 1,000 feet of the school. Okay. Now, if though Holly had a valid CCL, which we know that she did, the Illinois Supreme Court struck down part of this 1,000-foot ban as unconstitutional when applied to licensed carriers on public walkways. So I'm being honest with you guys now. Because she had a CCL, it was not illegal for her to have the weapon. The only reason it won't apply is what I said earlier in the live. If it were an unjust or a non-justifiable homicide, okay? If the homicide was not justifiable, if it is proven to not be self-defense, then the laws apply to her breaking the law, committing an unjustifiable homicide within what, guys? How many feet? Within 1,000 feet. The thing is that we don't know if the homicide was unjustified. We don't know if she broke the law. The investigation is still open. However, Miss Holly was in a school zone and Miss Holly was 1,000 feet within school property. Now, she is licensed to carry, so you are able to carry your firearm within that 1,000 feet. However, discharging your firearm in an unjustifiable homicide is what would get her in trouble for using the weapon in the school zone. You guys still following me? Okay. So I want you guys to understand, you cannot just say that the rules about firearms apply on school property. I think most people may know that you have to be 1,000 feet from the school. However, I think a lot of people didn't realize that Miss Holly was within 1,000 feet from the school. Okay. Now let's talk about what she did that could be considered. I'm gonna look at the comments in a minute. What could be considered legal and illegal based on what Miss Holly did. See, when people come over here, I want you guys to understand that I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm going to show you guys the facts, and it can't be disproven that it is a fact because these are actual state codes and state laws. So I'm going to go over everything I said before I end the live. Now, before I continue, what did we just go over? Miss Holly was in a school zone. Fact number 1. Fact number 2, Miss Holly was within 1,000 feet of the school, right? Fact number 3, Miss Holly does have a CCL, and in the state of Illinois, Even if you are 1,000 feet within a school zone, it is not illegal to carry a weapon with an Illinois issued CCL. Fact number 4, the only way that Miss Holly would get in trouble for real, is if the let me not try to not use that word, was unjustified. Okay? If it were unjustified, if it were is proven not to be self-defense, that is where the legality comes in. So I had to really like catch myself, because I'm like, wait a minute, like sometimes I get so caught in what the debate is proving that I forget why I'm disproving it. Because I have to think about, like, why are we even talking about the school zone situation anyway? And so I'm like, oh, okay, because people are trying to say that if she's in a school zone, then she broke the law. So I'm trying to get you guys to understand, if the unaliving is proven to not be self-defense, she definitely did break the law. Her sitting in the vehicle with the firearm may not have been breaking the law. But we'll get into that. I said may not for a reason. We'll get into that. So let's break this down. The situation. Miss Holly was parked, had a CCL, and the firearm stayed concealed in her car. Now that would be legal. That's likely not illegal. Illinois courts have ruled licensed carriers can possess in public ways within a school zone. Now let's go to the next situation. She brandished, displayed, or pulled the firearm while in the school zone. That would be considered illegal in Illinois. This becomes aggravated unlawful use of a weapon or aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school, which is a class 1 felony under 720 ILCS. Okay, y'all. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I hope that I'm not confusing anyone. So, in the situation that Miss Holly was parked with her CCL and her firearm concealed in her vehicle, that is not illegal, even if she is within 1,000 feet from the school zone, which she was. What is illegal is if the unaliving is unjustified and is determined to not be self-defense. Not only will she be charged with the unaliving, but she will also be charged with aggravated unlawful use of a weapon or aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. Okay, and that's only if she brandished, displayed, or pulled the firearm. Now, let's say that she fired the weapon, which we know that she did. That automatically triggers aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of school property, which is also a class 1 felony. So if Miss Holly is proven to had not unalived this girl justifiably, and if it can be proven that this was not self-defense, not only is there a possibility that Miss Holly will get manslaughter or second-degree murder charges if they cannot prove that it was premeditated, but she will likely also be charged with an aggravated unlawful use of a weapon or aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. If it is discovered that this killing was unjustified and not self-defense, she will possibly also be charged with aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of a school. Okay? So let's get to so this is the end of it. So let me just read the rest of it. Let me look at my comments really quick. Oh, thank you, Linda. So I'm going to go over a quick summary of what I just said, because I just really want you guys to know that I'm not trying to change anything, spin any narratives, or gaslight anyone. I'm simply reading the facts. I can't lie to you guys if I'm reading the law codes. I can't lie to you guys if I'm showing you the map. I can't lie to you guys if I'm getting the actual borders of the school zone from the Chicago Public School website. Simple as that. If we're going to display the facts and talk about the facts, then we can't call it spinning a narrative or sensationalizing something when the proof is right there in black and white. In black and white in the law codes, it states that she's in a school zone. In black and white in the law codes, it states that if she fired her gun illegally within 1,000 feet of the school, which she was, that is a crime. That is a felony. That is not gaslighting. That is not sensationalizing. That is the truth. The truth is she was in a school zone. The truth is 20 West Cermak is within 1,000 feet of National Teachers Academy. So there is no lies there. We know that those things are factual, right? Is everybody following me? Okay, so let's read the rest. Okay, so if Holly was legally licensed inside her car and did not touch, display, or fire the firearm, then merely being parked on 20 West Cermak Road would probably not violate Illinois law based on the laws. However, if she pulled, pointed, or fired the weapon while inside the zone, which my map confirms she was, she would be in violation of multiple state statutes, including aggravated discharge of a firearm within 1,000 feet of school property, which is a serious class 1 felony, regardless of your license status regarding your CCL. I rest my case, Your Honor. Gosh. Let me look at my comments. Oh, thank you, T Nice. Appreciate it. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me I think I want to pull something else up. Hold on one second. Okay, y'all. So before I get off, it's a few things that I wanted to say because I was gonna pull something else. Well, let me see if I can. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Ooh, y'all, I'm tired. I want to pull something else up for y'all. Okay, I want to pull up the punishments. Okay, let's pull this up. Let's see. Well, we know that there's an open investigation right now, which will really determine whether or not this was self-defense or whether or not this was a cold-blooded murder. Okay, now if this was a cold-blooded murder, not only is she going to be facing the charges about the school zone situation, but she's also I predict that if Holly is charged with this and now this is a prediction, it's not a fact before, because I don't want anybody to say I'm lying to anybody, okay? But my prediction, I think that if she is charged with this, I don't see her getting first degree. I got to be honest. I know a lot of people want her to get first degree murder charges, but I don't see her getting first degree. If she's charged with anything, I see her getting manslaughter charges, and it's manslaughter in most states. Illinois, I don't believe recognizes manslaughter, so I think that basically it will fall under second degree murder. Money Love, I have to go. I didn't get a chance to finish Big Keys live, so I actually have to go back and watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight, and I'll probably do a review on it tomorrow. So I gotta finish. I saw the beginning. I saw the beginning, and then I took a break, and then I came back. And then by the time I came back, he had gotten a phone call and somebody threatened him or something like that. So I'm like, wow, what is going on? What is going on with this Johnson family and these people threatening folks and doxing folks? The thing is, if there's nothing to worry about, and they're saying that the case is going to close. Why are they doing all of that? I don't know, kind of weird. So what I was saying was Illinois. Now you guys correct me because I can be wrong, you know, but I don't believe that Illinois recognizes manslaughter. I've personally never heard of Illinois giving a manslaughter charge. I always hear either first degree or second degree. So I think in Illinois that she would fall under second degree murder. But I personally don't see, if she's charged, I don't see her being charged with first degree unless they got like some solid evidence, because I heard from someone, I'm not even going to repeat that until I know it's factual, but I heard something, but I'm not going to repeat it. But I'll just leave it, if they're able to prove that it was some sort of setup, or that she was led over there, or that she was lured over there, and then they can somehow prove that, then yes, I do see first degree charges, because as maybe you guys don't know, but first degree charges, they have to prove premeditation. So it has to be proven that that it was planned. Okay. But if they can't prove that, I don't see her getting first degree. I see her getting like second degree murder charges. Now we went over everything for regarding the school zone. Okay, so let's talk about those charges. Okay, so specific provisions for school. B, a person commits aggravated discharge of a firearm when he or she knowingly or intentionally discharges a firearm in the direction of a person, a vehicle, or a building, or in the direction of a building, vehicle, or structure that he or she knows is reasonably should know to be within 1,000 feet of the real property, compromising a school, public park, courthouse, or other designated protected areas. Now, classification and penalty. C, a violation of subsection B of this section is a class 1 felony, punishable by not less than 4 years and not more than 15 years in the Department of Corrections. Now, if this is found to be an unjustifiable homicide, a lot of people, I want you guys to know that if she's found guilty of this and they prove that this was not self-defense and they're able to bring charges against her, more than one charge would be, she will be charged. She will be charged with more than one thing. Let me fix that. If it's proven not to be self-defense, she will probably, and this is alleged, this is what I think, she'd probably be charged with the unaliving. I believe it will be considered a second degree murder. And then she would also be charged with aggravated discharge of a firearm. And with that felony charge, you get no less than 4 years and no more than 15. So between 4 to 15 years in the Department of Corrections in Illinois. It says here on ChatGPT, plain language explanation. If a person fires a gun anywhere within 1,000 feet of school property, even if they are not on the school grounds, that's aggravated discharge of a firearm near a school, which is a class 1 felony under Illinois law, punishable by 4 to 15 years in prison, often charged in addition to any homicide or reckless discharge charges. In other words, even if the shooter claims self-defense, prosecutors can still add this enhancement just because the firearm was discharged within 1,000 feet protected radius. So hopefully I explained that to the best of my ability. Now, tomorrow, you guys know, I am holding a panel. And I don't know how successful the panel is going to be, y'all. And the reason that I say that is because I have some people that's coming up, but I just don't see Holly supporters running over here to debate me on anything. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But like I said, it's going to be respectful. Everybody is welcome. All opinions, well, not opinions, but all facts are welcome. And the interpretation of those facts are welcome. I'll say that. And then also, which is really cool, I have someone that is coming up on the panel, you guys. Let me pull this down, who I'm in communication with. And she is going to be breaking down the autopsy. Okay, so this particular person is an anatomical pathology assistant. She's been an anatomical pathology assistant for over 21 years and she is also a licensed funeral director and embalmer for over 30 years. Okay, she has been listening to a lot of the breakdowns on both sides of the autopsy reports, and it's kind of grinding her gears because she is an expert and she wants to give her expert analysis on the autopsy. Okay, so she's going to be working on that, and she's going to come up here on my panel tomorrow. Yeah, she is going to be coming up on the panel tomorrow. She has a really, really big title. I'm not going to give her what her title is, but just know that this particular woman is a professional. She knows what she's talking about. She's been in the field for over 2 decades, 3 decades really. And I'm not going to give her title away, but let's just put it like this. She knows what she's talking about. Okay. Somebody said, please don't bring Q on your panel. I'm gonna say this. I wouldn't bring him on my panel for a few reasons, but one of the reasons is nothing personal. It's more about the fact that I really don't want anyone on my panel that claims to have any sort of connection with either party. So I wouldn't want anybody that is connected to Romeka or related to Romeka on my panel, because I believe that adds bias. So I wouldn't want him on my panel because it's pretty clear that he is in support of Holly and Carlos. So I don't want anybody on my panel that has any direct connection with either party. So I wouldn't invite the auntie on my panel, even though I'm in support of her. I wouldn't invite her up because people will say, okay, well, she has a direct bias, because I want people that are going to come up on my panel that are going to talk about the facts that they've obtained, that they found, any research that they've done themselves, and that they have, broken down or whatever, which is why I'm having somebody come up tomorrow who is worked in the funerals business. She is an expert on the human body. I'm having her come up here so that she can do a full breakdown of the autopsy for you guys. Because again, there's a lot of misinformation about what's going on. I'm no expert on the human body, so I'm so glad that she's willing to do that for me. And like I said, again, nobody that is directly connected to or in communication with either family would be invited up, whether that be Q or whether that be anybody directly connected with Romeka, because I want to be fair. Let me read some of my comments. Hey, Queen Unique, smart move upper, and in the event platforms are investigated for connection, you would be cleared. Thank you. That is a good observation. Thank you. Juanita Way says, question is, the Healer Homes a senior living facility? If so, will that count against Holly? I don't know. I haven't done any research on that. I'm not sure. It's an interesting question. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on that. Miss Foxy. Hey, Miss Foxy. She said that's fair. Hey, Brandy Davis. Hey, Erica. Let me go up. It's late. It's a Friday. I don't got nothing to do tomorrow, so I'm definitely gonna stay up to see what happened on. Because I didn't get a chance, like I told y'all, I didn't get a chance to look at all of Keys Live. Let me go up. Danger of bystanders. Holly and Carlos need to be locked up for life. We shall see. Erica said, I hope they both ride in prison. The highest point says she need life in solitary confinement. T Knight said, did Romeka put she was running late to drop off her child at school? If they seen it. From what I understand, now I don't know for sure. Matter of fact, hell, let me check. Hold on. Look. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. Well, from what I heard, we pretty much know for a fact that she did write a letter to her son We pretty much know for a fact that she did take her son to school late. And from what I hear, I heard that it might have been posted on social media, but I haven't actually seen it. So I can't really speak on it because I didn't see it myself. If you guys saw it yourself, send it to me in my inbox so I can give it a look. But I do know it's a fact that she did write him a letter. I do know that she brought him to school late because she was preparing that lunch for him, which is one of the reasons why she probably was able to go ahead and park there on Cermak and walk him to the door because he was late and she had to walk him in. So that's a good observation. You have to be careful with posting certain things online as far as your whereabouts, what time you're going to be certain places and stuff like that, because it could be dangerous. Now, I'm not saying that's for sure what happened, but it's definitely a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility. Okay, Lady Tuck, let's read this. Lady Tuck said Illinois has involuntary manslaughter and involuntary manslaughter, and second degree replaces regular manslaughter. Oh, okay, got you. Let's see. Let me go down because I don't want to go too far up. L.Y. Williams said, "Oh my God, Q is on live now. Q gets on my nerves. Something is wrong with him. Yes, something is definitely wrong with him." Okay, y'all. I'm sleepy. Yeah. This debunking shit makes, that shit takes some time. I'm tired. I've been live all damn day. I gotta get some rest because I'm gonna be live tomorrow night too. So yeah, did you guys see the part on Keys Live where somebody called in and it sounded like a threat to me? I'm like, wow, this girl is surrounded by fucking thugs. What is going on? I did hear him make a really good point, like when Keys said basically like, I didn't have those problems. Those types of issues weren't coming up as far as like the disrespect, the doxing, the threats, when it was dealing with Romika's family. Romika's family has not done that. There's nothing that we've seen as far as threats that can be verified. But the fact that as soon as Keys goes live and he's talking about Carlos and he's talking about that situation, boom, he has a call to come in and basically threaten them in so many words. So I just think that is a real testament of who's who here. I think it's important to look at facts because obviously what I just showed y'all, we kicked the live off with facts, right? But I also think that it's good to use your common sense. And so I use common sense. If it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and it quack like a duck, it's probably a duck. And when we're dealing with this family, and I even look at the behavior of the aunt, I'm not necessarily trying to bash the auntie. I'm just looking at her behaviors. So when you post things online like this, like she does on her Facebook page, people are going to react to it. And so this is just my reaction. I've seen what she posts online. I see what she does on her page. I saw, I didn't go into her stories or anything, but I did see that somebody screenshotted or something. I think she, from what I saw, posted Romika's mother. And it's just like it's such antagonistic behavior. And I talked about that before regarding the auntie or the mama, whoever she is, to Holly. And then I saw that she wrote a post directly after the live stream that I did. And in the post, she said she has never intentionally tried to antagonize Romika or Romika's family. And my response to that is, as an adult, as a grown woman, because she looks grown, as a grown woman, and she seems intelligent, that is an intelligent adult, I think that we know that even when we do not intentionally do something to someone, when we see that our behaviors come off as that, it's okay to kind of check yourself a little bit. That's almost like me saying, well, I did not hit you with my vehicle intentionally. So that should make it not matter. Just because it's not being done on purpose, or just because you don't realize that you've done it or that you're doing it does not make it any less impactful. So for her, as what she's seemingly to be an intelligent woman, to get on her platform on Facebook and say, well, I didn't intentionally try to antagonize her family. Well, it may not have been intentional, but now that you know that you're doing it, are you going to stop? You know, just a little think piece there. I think that this what's going on with the content creators and Keys and the threat that came in and all of the antagonistic posts and doxing the content, all of this stuff is just, like I said, it's really a testament really to who Holly and Carlos are, because these are their people that's doing all of this. If she's innocent and she didn't do anything, then nothing that we say should matter. If it's not a fact, it's not factual, what are we afraid of? What are you scared of? What, all of the extra isn't need. The truth stands alone. The truth stands by itself. You don't have to do all the extras. You don't have to jump on all of these panels. You don't have to put out all of these videos trying to tear down Romika's character to make Holly look like she had to defend herself. You don't have to do all of that if she's innocent. I always go back to what you guys probably don't know him, but it's a content creator called 2K. And I always go back to this because I feel like it was such a great analogy. You know, a lot of people actually thought that O.J. Simpson was guilty. Really, even the Black community, a lot of the Black community even thought that he was guilty. The thing about it is a lot of the Black community wanted O.J. Simpson to get off with the crime, which is insane, because he was Black. And because this was during a time during the LA riots and Rodney King and all of that stuff that was going on. So they didn't want to see another Black man go to jail, especially not over the unaliving of two white people. So during that trial, one of the things that was discovered was that the police officer actually planted evidence on the scene. And that was one of the reasons why O.J. Simpson was set free and why he was not convicted of murder. Because the way it was looked at is, even if he did it, by you planting evidence or doing all this extra, it made it look like he was innocent. Because if he's guilty, then the truth doesn't need any help. If that wasn't done, it's a possibility that O.J. Simpson would have been convicted of murder. But because they did all of the extra and tried to put a little sauce on top, a little seasoning in the sauce, he got off. So when somebody is innocent, you don't need to add seasoning to the sauce. All the family members don't need to be online making posts, talking about Romika, talking about the family, posting videos from 5 years. All of that stuff isn't necessary if she's innocent. If you all are confident that she's innocent, and there's some footage that exists out there of her innocence, and she is going to be vindicated, and it's going to be proven that this was self-defense, I'm just wondering, I mean, it's just a question, why all the extras? Why all the extras? If it's not true, then it's not true, and she'll get off. Just a thought. Just a thought. L.Y. Williams says, Holly and her aunt can't spell intelligent and they lack morals. No intelligent woman with morals would post anything negative about Romika. In fact, they would apologize to the family. Even if, what I think the decent thing to do, and this segment of my podcast is just my opinion, not a fact. The decent thing, in my opinion, to do would have been to, even if you don't apologize, because apologize is a big thing, especially if you're not necessarily the one to pull the trigger, but at least give your condolences would be the human thing to do, because you didn't lose anybody. So even though, you know, you still have your family member. So the least I think that you could have done as a decent human being was to say my condolences and to lay off, in my opinion, lay off of the family. If you want to go after the content creators, everything cool. But when I heard that she posted the mama, and I'm like, the mother literally hasn't said anything on social media. I've seen her Facebook page. She didn't even talk about this. Well, Roz, the reason I said no to first degree is not because I think that it's a definite no, but I said that because I don't see anything right now that proves any strong proof or evidence that it was premeditated. I think that it's a possibility that it was premeditated, but I don't know for sure. So what I said was, if the investigators can find evidence that it was premeditated, such as Miss Romika was called or lured to that location, that will be evidence of premeditation. If they look in the shooter's search history and find that she's been looking through gun laws and school zone laws and things like that, that would be a clue that it could have possibly been premeditated. So it's possible. They just have to, if they find the evidence. But if you remember the case of Susan Lawrence in Ocala, Florida, the lady that shot the woman through the door and claims self-defense based on the stand your ground laws. Remember, when she was called in for a second interview, they confronted her with her search history from her phone or her internet history. And one of the things that she searched before the killing was the stand your ground law. That alone, in my opinion, should have got her first degree murder, but it didn't. But I just mentioned that because that is definitely something they will look at. It's like search history. When they dump your phone, what have you been looking up? What have you been researching? And a lot of people, one thing that I learned, because I did study criminology. I don't have a degree in criminology, but I studied it because it was a requirement for my major. One of the things that I learned is that a lot of times in murders, especially during the days of the internet, people tend to research what they're going to do before they do it. And before the days of Google and before the days of Chat GPT, people would actually buy magazines and books and research in that way. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the what's his name, John Wayne Gacy, John, what's his name? John Wayne Gacy. I think that's his name. You guys know what I'm talking about? He's a serial killer out of Illinois, where they he was actually a politician as well at a certain point, which is crazy. I think it might be a documentary of him on Netflix. And John Wayne Gacy actually, they discovered several bodies of young men under the floorboards of his home, and discovered that he had actually unalived several young men. During the search of his home, they actually found several books and literature on murder. So, but even before the time of researching by Chat GPT and Google and magazines and stuff like that, a lot of these like killers, serial killers, or even people that just commit random murders or whatever, they actually research these things. That is one of the things that they do. A lot of people want to, you got a lot of people, and I'm not talking about this particular case, but that fantasize about it and want to learn more about it. And you got some people that want to research on how to get off if in the event they get caught. Some people look up how to get away with it. So people do research, especially if they're getting, and that is a huge sign of premeditation. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen in this case, but I'm just saying if that does happen, then that could be a way that they could try to get her on that charge. Hey, Danny. Yep. It's one that I'm referring to in particular. It's called The Lost Tapes, I think, on Netflix. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Sorry, I had to step away for a moment. So let me read some of these. Ashley said these laws need to change. Too much killing out here. Erica said even if they don't find anything that Holly researched, Holly broke the laws of her CCL. Correct. Wait. Yeah. So what we're saying is the breakdown of the charges and what she could be charged with. For instance, if she's charged with unaliving and it's determined that it's not self-defense, however, they can't determine premeditation, then she would be charged with second-degree murder in the state of Illinois. Possibly. You know, you got to be careful with your words. Tasha says she didn't call after the pew pew. All of these, or at least one, would have helped. Justice for Ramika. I agree 100%. Lady Tuck says they research other killers to see. Yep, that's a fact. She could have called the police, and she was so scared before and after during the altercation. There's a lot of things that she could have done. I'm gonna go over a lot of that stuff tomorrow too during the live. If you guys are just coming in, I am having somebody come up on the panel tomorrow who is a professional and will be able to go ahead and break down the autopsy report for us. She is a anatomical pathology assistant. She's been an anatomical pathology assistant for over 21 years. She's also a licensed funeral director and an embalmer. She's been doing that for 30 years, okay? So she's a professional. She knows what she's doing. She's well-versed on the human body, and she does want to come up on the panel before, but she wants to come up on the platform before the debate starts so that she can breakdown of the autopsy report. So she's going to be doing that for us. So I appreciate that. Okay. Right. Does those other charges apply to? Holly had so many options, but she did what she wanted to do. That is how I feel as well. I feel like she definitely had other options. That's what I think. I think she had other options. Let me show y'all something real quick. This is something to ponder on. Somebody sent me this, and I said that I would talk about it, but I said that I was going to end up doing like if anybody's in here that is Romika's personal friend or family, I'm going to ask you to step out for a moment because I'm going to show something that I don't want y'all to see, please. And thank you. You come back in 10 minutes if I'm still live. I like to give that disclaimer because I don't like to throw stuff up on the screen for people that don't want to see it. You know, it's hard losing a family member and then it turns into a viral situation. And sometimes people can be really insensitive by playing the crime scene over and over again, especially with the view of the body. It can be a bit insensitive, and it is really hard for the family to see that. It's hard enough for them to hear us talking about it, even as a content creator. Even as a content creator that has picked this case up, I understand because I have a very high sense of empathy. I'm not, some people think that I'm really insensitive, really disrespectful, too blunt, all of these things. But the crazy part about it is like, that's kind of my reputation around here. But the crazy part about it is I'm very in tune with other people's feelings. I just don't always consider them unless I feel like I should, because some shit I don't consider because I'm like, stop being a fucking crybaby, right? But some stuff I do consider, like people grieving or people mourning or people hurting due to the loss of a family member. That type of stuff is important to me. So I know that I'm covering a case where it can be very, very, very hard for a family to see certain things. So I get that. I feel that. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it if it were me almost. So that's why I'm like, you know, I try to be as respectful as some things I have in my inbox that I just refuse to play because I just won't do it. I don't want one of her family members to come over here, press play, and see something that is going to put a knot in their stomach. The topic alone is hurtful, you know. Um, so let me pull this up. Like I said, if it's anybody in here that knows Romika personally or as a family member, please leave so I can pull it up. And it's really not even that graphic. I just prefer it not for them not to see it. It's not graphic at all, to be honest with you. I just don't want them to see it because I feel like they've seen this enough, you know. I just, you know, I don't know what to really say about this right here. Other than the placement of the cars are interesting to me because Holly supporters and family, they often like to say that bad information is being spread or that lies are being spread and propaganda. But one of the things that I've noticed that somebody pointed out to me is that they've been saying that Romika had Holly blocked in and she couldn't leave. But then from the angle that they keep showing, it does appear that she's blocked in. But when you get on at this angle, on the directly on the sidewalk, you clearly see that Romika is not blocking Holly in. Romika's car is actually parked behind Holly's car. Carlos' car is parked in front of Romika's car. What do you guys think about that? Does that change anything for anybody? Even if I have somebody in the chat that supports Holly, does that change anything for you? Because I know one of the biggest talking points is she had her blocked in, she couldn't get away. So I just want to know, like, and then also I was in my girl Am's chat earlier, and I looked at her chat, and there was somebody in the chat who I believe knows the family, and he said Carlos was parked next to Holly, and I said, oh. And then I referred back to this picture that somebody sent me. I said, oh, wait a minute. So Romika didn't have Holly blocked in. So not only does this photo show that Holly wasn't blocked in by Romika, but it also was confirmed in the chat that I was just in. So what do y'all think about that? I'm gonna look at y'all comments. Does that change anything for you guys? Do you guys what does that change for y'all as far as y'all thought process when it comes to the crime scene? Now that we know that allegedly it looks like Romika did not have Holly blocked in, and it looks like she was not parked next to Holly. What y'all think about that? Does that change anything for y'all? I'm gonna wait to see some comments. No comments. Okay, Linda said truth coming to light. Trying to write something. Okay. Lady Tuck says she was not blocked in by Romika. Carlos is blocking the car in the front of Holly, but she didn't have to leave by car. She didn't have to leave by the car. She could have walked off to the Hiller home, or she could have just stayed in her. She could have gotten in the car and locked the doors. She made a conscious decision not to do that, in my opinion. She didn't want to get in her car with her baby, lock, secure her doors, keep the baby safe, roll the windows up, and call the police. She didn't want to do that. She did what she wanted to do, in my opinion. Yeah, she was not blocked in. So when they, Holly supporters often scream, conspiracy theory, propaganda, but there has been mistakes on both sides. Clearly. Hold on one second. I need to check something real quick. I want to see something real quick. Y'all don't go nowhere. Hold on. Let me pull something up. So do you guys feel like today was productive? So today we debunked the lie that Holly wasn't in a school zone. And then we also debunked the lie that she was not within 1,000 feet of the school. Now give me 1 second here. Hold on. Don't go nowhere.
Name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated, stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. 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 Stupid can't play with smart.
Hold on, y'all. Don't go nowhere. Give me one more minute.
Name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. 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 Name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, She got the heart. She got the heart. She got the confidence. Baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated. Stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart. She got the smart. She got the heart.
Okay, you guys, I'm back. Okay, so I'm gonna do something really quick. Let me pull this down. Take this down. Pull up. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, we know this is where the incident occurred. A couple of cars up around here, this area. Now this is where Holly was parked right here, right? We know that she was parked right there. A lot of people are wondering why she parked right there, especially when you have a clear view of the person's school, the person's child's school that you are afraid of on a Monday. The real question here is, could she have avoided parking right there? Could she have parked over here? Now this is Carlos Apartments over the Bureau Bar restaurant. As you can see, there's several parking spots on State Street. Now, up here by the post office, which is really in walking distance, she could have parked up here. And she didn't even have to park that far. She actually could have parked, well, yeah, she could have parked right up here, which is really kind of, it's right down the street. As you can see, Carlos right here, and then we're on State Street. So she actually could have just went straight down here and parked up here, or parked along this side. Now, in order to park on this street, because it's not considered a residential street, you do have to pay for parking. As you can see, there's a parking meter sign here. However, this meter sign, hold on one second. I actually looked it up just now. So the meter sign actually, not the meter sign, but the parking on this street, you have to pay for parking between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Okay, that does not include Sunday. Does anybody know why that's significant? Does anybody know the significance of the day that Miss Holly decided to not park right here or around this area up here, but instead, and just pay for parking, not pay for parking, but do you understand why it's significant that she decided not to park along State Street and instead park across the street from Romika's son's school, and why that is kind of weird that she did that? Well, it's weird because one of the arguments is that if you park on the street, then your car will be towed, or that you are illegally parking. And maybe she didn't want to pay the meter because she would not be there in between those hours. But what I want to say is that actually the parking meter is only required Monday through Saturday. Now on Sunday, there is no parking meter. You don't have to pay for parking on Sundays, just Monday through Saturday. So that would have meant that Miss Holly could have parked for free on State Street. Yeah. She could have parked on State Street for free, because remember, what was September 8th of 2025? What day of the week was that? A Monday. So she could have parked all day on Sunday right on this side of the street and not even had to worry about running into Romika. She could have parked on State Street for free all Sunday and then just got up and moved her car or left before 8 a.m. when the meter starts, when you're expected to pay. So she didn't get a ticket or so that she didn't get towed. So that's another excuse. There was really no reason that she had to park right here. She parked right here because she wanted to park right here. She could have parked on State Street because there is no paying the meter on Sundays. September 8th was a Monday. Okay. Oh, y'all, I'm tired. I just don't even get these damn people. Let me hold on, y'all. My damn phone. So we can't use that as an excuse, y'all. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right, Lady Tuck. I think that 20 West Cermak, you got to pay. You know what? Let me look it up. Well, you know what? I actually have looked that up before. I have looked that up before. I don't see any actual signs that you have to park on 20 West Cermak, but I did look it up and they do say that you have to pay to park. Matter of fact, let me show y'all. I don't know how true it is, but either way, y'all, she didn't have to pay to park. She wasn't going to get towed if she parked on State Street because she was moving her car on Monday morning. She didn't have to pay for parking all Sunday. On Sundays, it doesn't apply on Sundays. So the hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday is free. Damn near anywhere in the city of Chicago, parking is free on Sunday. I think even downtown, yeah, parking is free on Sunday. So I don't know how it works in y'all states, but in Chicago, you don't got to pay to park on Sundays. So she didn't have to park here, if that's the argument. But I did look up. She parked there because she wanted to, just period, point blank. I did look up. Let's see. And then there is other places you can pay to park, but that doesn't even matter though, because like I said, it was Sunday, so that theory is out the window. Because remember, we not doing theories, so that's out the window. But let me go ahead and pull this up really quick just to show who was that Lady Tuck said. So if you're parking on the street it says near 20 West Cermak Road, Chicago, Illinois. Yes, you generally, it says near. Yes, you generally do have to pay for parking meters. The city's on-street meter hours in that area fall under the non-residential street category, operating from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, unless signage states otherwise. Outside those hours, you may find free parking or reduced enforcement, but check signs locally since rules can vary block by block. Now, on that block on State Street, you can park on Sunday. Now, for free. That's not even just on that damn block. That's throughout the whole damn city of Chicago. Street meters in that general vicinity of Cermak may have signage specific to that block window slot. Always inspect the meter or pay box for the exact zone rate and rate hours. And then it goes on to say if you're using a parking lot, which we don't need to read that because she wasn't using a parking lot. So moral of the story is Miss Romika did not have to park where she was parked at. Not Miss Romika, Miss Holly did not have to park where she was parked at. Miss Holly chose to park where she was parked at for whatever reason. Use your imagination. But she definitely didn't have to pay for parking, nor did she have to worry about her car being towed on a Sunday. I just looked it up on the city website. It's free parking on Sunday. You damn near free, like I said, free parking everywhere on Sunday. So she definitely could have parked on State Street. Because again, this incident happened Monday morning. As long as she would, matter of fact, she could have parked there all Sunday and part of Monday and just woke up Monday morning and moved it at 8 o'clock, before 8 o'clock. That's what she could have did, but she chose not to do that. She chose to set her car right here across the street from Romika's son's school. Now do with that what you may. Do with that what you may. Let's see. Looking at some of the comments. She talked about you spending time with a man that can't pay the meter. He didn't have to pay the meter on Sunday. He didn't have to pay the meter on Sunday anyway. You know, she didn't have to park on State Street. She could have parked on. I mean, she didn't have to park on Cermak because there is no pay for parking on Sunday night. So if she spent the night, she could have just parked on State Street. She could have parked on State Street. Let's be honest with ourselves. We cannot be so gun-ho about defending a person that we look over obvious shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know these people, but if something is not seeming clean in the buttermilk, then just say that. It's okay. Even if you've been riding with somebody all of this time, you're like, oh yeah, I know she is, I know that. If it comes out that makes that sounds questionable in the situation, then you don't acknowledge it, then that makes you look questionable. That's like if tomorrow a whole video pops up as Romika being a villain and I pretend not like I don't see that. I would have to acknowledge that and I would have to change my perspective. But if things are being presented to disprove whatever theory or whatever you think, then just it's okay. But this is a case of somebody that was killed. So I side eye certain things when people are like going above and beyond to defend the murderer and conveniently not seeing key evidence that certain things just simply didn't need to happen. Because in an incident of self-defense, that's something that you have to do. It's not something you want to do. So when certain things are being presented showing that other options were available, that needs to be acknowledged. It just does. It just simply needs to be acknowledged. It don't matter it don't matter if you've been thinking that girl was innocent since September 8th. If clear evidence is presented that she did some things in this situation that were wrong, then it just needs to be acknowledged. Ain't nobody gonna it ain't no big deal. Just say that it is what it is. Number one, she was in a school zone. Number two, she didn't have to park on Cermak. Number three, parking was free on State Street on Sunday overnight. She didn't have to park her car overnight up here. She chose to park her car overnight up here. Period. So when people say Romika wasn't where she was supposed to be, it's seeming more and more like Holly didn't have to be where she was. That's what I mean. I'm just saying. So just come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, y'all. Like, let's be for real here. Like, to me, it's like to me, it's super obvious what's going on here. I don't know, and just because it's super obvious to me, don't mean that it's true. But to me, it's very obvious what happened in this situation. And I've given my opinion. And again, I'm gonna go back and listen to what Keys said to see what he said. But my opinion is, I agree with everybody's sentiments when they say that this didn't have to happen. The only difference in my sentiment is that I believe, and I always say I believe because I never want anybody coming to my page or my channel and say I'm spreading propaganda, lying, or spreading conspiracy theories. So I always kick it off with I believe, meaning it may not be a fact, or allegedly. So I believe not only did it not have to happen, but I also believe that certain things were put in place so that it would happen. Now do with that statement what you will. I feel like there were certain things done so that it would happen. And I don't mean on Romika's part. So let me see what else is Let me look at the comments. Holly drove from her residence to Carlos without a change of clothes, but made sure she had her pow pow. She did, didn't she? Made sure she was locked and loaded, huh? Another thing that's really interesting to me, and I'm not saying anything that's not public information, is public information that DCFS, which is the Department of Children and Family Services here in Chicago, was contacted by the Chicago Police Department. Now, if this were a case of self-defense, Miss Holly was licensed to carry and didn't break any laws, nor did she do anything wrong, then I don't think that DCFS will be called on her if nothing was done wrong. She did some things wrong here. And I think that people need to accept that. I think that people need to get out. And I also think that Romika did some things that she didn't have to do. I think that Romika did some things that she didn't have to do, but she did. But I also don't think that those things constituted or justified her for her to lose her life. That's the difference. The difference is I'm not trying to excuse Romika of anything or say that she did everything right or that she was a perfect angel. However, I hear a lot of people that support Holly try to spread the narrative that she did everything right, and she didn't do everything right. She was not in 100% in her right legally, and that's just a fact. She just wasn't. So I just find it a bit concerning that, you know, if you're covering a criminal case or a potentially criminal case, then you have to acknowledge everything that's being presented. You can't blow stuff off because it doesn't fit your narrative. You can't try to disprove everything that shows that Holly was wrong. Because at the end of you're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. The young lady did some things that were not right. But the question is, were those things done intentionally? The other question is did she have to kill Romika? And that's the reason why I'm having an anatomical pathologist come on my panel tomorrow, because I'm gonna be keep it real with you, and this is no shade to anybody. It's just the truth. I think that anatomical pathologist, an expert, would be way more credible than Quadre. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Somebody that doesn't know either party, has no bias. Not only that, but is educated, has experience in the field, a funeral director, an embalmer, has history of reading autopsy reports, is an expert on the human body. I think somebody like that would be more credible to have on my platform than Quadre. That's just, just my opinion. But let me look at a few more comments, and then I'm about to get off. You know what, y'all? I was about to go live today and play my Sims 4 because I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I'll do it next week. I don't know. Gizmo says DCFS will also be called when in the presence of a child or children. Absolutely. And the reason that I know that, Gizmo, is because I work for DCFS. Didn't know that, did you? Now, that is true. However, even though they're called, they don't always open up a case or an investigation. But in this case, it was. Wonder why? Questions that need answers. Tabane, Upper Holly Johnson called Children Human Services DFC on Romika trying to get her child taken from her. Yeah, I saw that on Keys. I think that was Keys Live. What's going on, Justice for Meeks? Malish said I need to get the game myself. Girl, it's free. Just download it. I got it on my Xbox and I got it on my desktop. Queen Unique said I have one more question. If you have already been discussed at some point, but it may have already been discussed at some point, but was Holly registered to Chicago, the area of the incident? Did she have a lease on a home in the area of the incident? So to my knowledge, and don't quote me, but to my knowledge, she does not live in the city of Chicago, but she does live in the state of Illinois, and her weapon was registered in the state of Illinois, so she had a right to carry her weapon where she was. area of the incident. Does she have a lease? No, she doesn't have a lease. No, she doesn't own a home in the area of the incident. The area of the incident, this is Carlo's house. Now, this is another discrepancy on the police report. The discrepancy is that Romika pulled up to their residence, okay? This is their residence, amongst other discrepancies, okay? To my knowledge, he lives above the Bureau Bar over here. This is the Bureau Bar, okay? And then the incident happened right here. So his apartment is over there around the corner on State Street. And we've also already discussed that there is free parking on Sunday. Miss Holly had every intention to park where she parked. She could have very easily parked on State Street for free and just moved her car before 8 a.m. So, and then just showing the vicinity of the distance of the school. So to answer your question, no, she did not have a lease in the area. She was not a resident in that area at all. Her baby daddy was. Just like Romika's baby daddy was. Hold on one second, y'all. My bad, y'all. I had to get something out the air fryer. Let me see. Ashley Boy Mom says, then how you gonna try to get her child taken away from her when hell we can see how much she loves her son? Her whole TikTok shows how much motherhood. Yeah, she did see. You could tell she was a really good mom. Miss Foxy says, yes, Erica. He trying to make it seem like Romika came to his residence, hence the self-defense claim. Yeah, because he lived, and then there's so then also to Miss Foxy, another reason, and this is just my speculation, but another reason why I believe that the mystery, and we listen, we know who the mystery witness was and who made that statement, but I'll leave that alone for now. The reason why the mystery statement said that this incident was their residence on the police report is because then that would have gave them that would have really given her the right to do what she did. Because if it's their residence, we do know that the state of Illinois follows the Castle Doctrine. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that went wrong with this case as far as like the initial crime scene, the questioning of the witnesses, the police incident, incident report. It's a lot of things on there that's false. So yeah, so no one could argue that false information was given intentionally. Now I don't know if that's true or not, but somebody had to say that. And I don't think anybody else would have said that because nobody else knew them other than they knew each other. So the only person that I could think would make a statement to the police by saying their residents would be the actual people involved in the unaliving. And there's only one reason that I can imagine why they would lie and say it happened at my residence when your residence is around the damn corner. And that to me seems like, it was done intentionally because again, Illinois goes by what you call the Castle Doctrine. And in the Castle Doctrine, that is the only place in the state of Illinois that you are allowed to stand your ground, either within your home or within a private dwelling. Are you able to stand your ground? And a lot of the other laws regarding the gun laws and self-defense laws in Illinois do not apply if you're in your own home. So Romika's family says she always did that U-turn, so she was where she was supposed to be. Listen, Romika was where she was supposed to be anyway. Okay, Romika lived in the city of Chicago. Holly don't. Romika baby daddy is around the corner. Romika child school is right here. Okay, she definitely was not in an area that she wasn't supposed to be. And another thing that I want you guys to remember is when people try to say certain things. Oh, Romika wanted to smoke. Oh, Romika was ghetto. Oh, Romika pulled around there because she wanted to beat up Holly. I want you guys to remember that there are several different ways that that scenario could have went. It's a lot of different reasons why she could have stopped there. So when people say she should have kept going, you don't know why she didn't keep going. So you can't scream, or we're going to talk about facts here. We're not in our feelings here, but something like that, because that is not a fact. That's a feeling. That's how you feel. You don't know why she stopped. You don't know if someone called her and told her to stop. You don't know if she saw her baby daddy and wanted to talk to him and stop. You don't know if her and her baby daddy still had some sort of relationship going on and she wanted to stop. You don't know. So you cannot say she stopped to beat up Holly because you don't know. I think if anything, that probably bothers me the most in with the debate thing in this whole case, because her supporters will yell, you don't know that's not a fact, that's speculation, but then they'll go and speculate. How do you tell someone not to speculate only to turn around and speculate? It's a speculation that she pulled up and wanted smoke. We don't know that. We can't say, oh, come on now, she would. No, I don't know anything. We don't know why she stopped. We don't know if he called her. We don't know if he texted her. We don't know if she only saw him and didn't see Holly. We don't know that, do we? No. Look at the placement of this vehicle. This white car here is Romika's car. This is Romika's car. This black car, did you see the corner of the bumper? That's Holly's car. From a month, they've been saying that Romika blocked Holly in. Does this look like Romika has Holly blocked in? Well, we know she didn't get in the car and move her car. So does that look like she has Holly blocked in to you? No, it doesn't. It does not. So when people say Romika sped around that corner like the Tasmanian devil, pulled up, wanted smoke with Holly, and jumped out the car and blocked her in, no, something else happened that day. And we don't really know what it is. We don't really know what it is. But she definitely, from this photo, from this angle, it doesn't look like Romika blocked Holly in to trap her so that she could attack her. It's not what it looks like here. I'm just saying. I'm just going over the things that are being presented. I'm not throwing anything to the side. I'm not ignoring anything. It just doesn't look like she pulled up and blocked her in. That's not what this picture shows. Everybody keeps showing a different angle, which makes it look like her car was blocked in by Romika. But from this angle, it surely doesn't look like she's blocked in. Not by Holly. Not by Romika. And also from this angle, from this side, how do we even know that she saw Holly? Only car I'm sure she would have recognized would have been Carlos's vehicle. She's never seen Holly in person. So I'm sure she's never seen, I'm sure she's never seen her car in person. So when she pulled up and stopped right here, how do we know she even saw Holly? She's driving, looking straight ahead. The first thing she's gonna see is Carlos' vehicle. That's the first thing that she's gonna see. So what I want to say is, I really don't want to hear any more people that support Holly screaming facts over feelings. And then move on to speculate. Because if we're being honest, then you have to say that everybody is speculating because nobody was there. Nobody saw it happen. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows why Romika pulled up. Nobody knows why Romika stopped. Nobody knows if Romika saw Holly. Nobody knows if Romika was being civilized if she saw Holly. Nobody knows how the verbal altercation started. Nobody knows how the physical altercation started. Nobody knows. So the only thing that we can do is go off of what we do know. And what we do know is that Romika did not block Holly in. Carlos was parked next to Holly, not Romika. What we do know is that Romika was hit with 2 bullets, both of which were fatal. Meaning that a second bullet was unnecessary. What we also know is that the ballistics in the autopsy report showed that Miss Romika did not have any gunpowder on her body or clothing, showing that she was far away from her during the shooting, showing that Miss Holly was not near her during the shooting. Leading us to think that it's a possibility that there was no physical altercation happening during the shooting. Not only does the ballistics testing, the autopsy report tell us that there was no physical altercation during the actual shooting, but so do the witnesses. The witnesses also tell us that they were not in the middle of a physical altercation during the shooting. Not only does the witness tell us that, but Carlos told us that. Shall we play it? I think we should. Let's play it. Let's just play it for old time's sake. Let's play it for old time's sake. Give me a second. I'm just scrolling down so I can find it. And I did say that on all of my live streams, for the most part, that I do on this case, I'm going to try my best to remember to play this video on every single live stream because it is such damning evidence that I think a lot of people overlook. So let's go ahead and play this. I didn't even come live for all of this, but I'm gonna do it because hell, why not? I really just came live to show you guys the laws about the school zones, and I hope I got that part clear. So this is the video here that I think is crucial to the case. I really do. I think it is so crucial to the case because if the witness statement and Carlos' statement are not coinciding, I think that we can always look back to this video to see at one point in time, both Carlos and the witness agreed on one thing. And the one thing that they agreed on is that Carlos and the witness both stated that after Romika was shot initially, she tried to walk away. I'm gonna do some research on that, Justice for Meeks. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on that myself, and I'm probably gonna do a. You know what? I might do a premiere on that. Like, what's the legalities around that? So, I'm gonna play this video real quick. But Beverly said, "I have a question. Did Meeks write her son a note every day or just that morning?" You know, I don't know. That's something I can't answer. I wish I knew. I don't know. That's a good question. If that's something maybe her family would know. I'm not sure. Okay, so let me go ahead and play this. Now, in this video, this confirms basically what the autopsy reported. Now, these are all things that Holly supporters ignore on purpose. They ignore the results of the autopsy report. They focus more on the fact that it was said that the young lady was shot 3 times, but she was actually shot twice. Like, that's their big thing. Oh my God, they've been lying all this time. It was only 2 shots. Like, please stop it. Just knock it off. She was shot 2 times, but they ignore everything else in the autopsy report. They don't talk about the fact that, according to ballistics, the young lady was shot from a distance away, a long distance away. They don't talk about the fact that both wounds were fatal wounds, in which that's the reason I'm having the anatomical pathologist come on my channel tomorrow to break down the autopsy report for you guys. So they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the fact that she didn't need to be shot twice. She was already paralyzed probably from the first shot. And I'll have an expert up here to talk to y'all about that tomorrow. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about that the ballistics show that she was far away. There's a lot of things they don't talk about that they conveniently ignore because they want her to be innocent really, really bad. It's not because they know her personally, but it's because a lot of times when a content creator or even a supporter has supported one thing for so long, they don't want to come out and say, I've been wrong all this time. So they're going to ignore certain things just because they just don't want to say, oh shit, I was wrong. Damn, she did kill that girl unjustifiably. There is evidence out here that, you know, she might not have had to do that, because I think that it's only right, especially in the case of murder. Think about it, y'all. We're talking about someone who was murdered. And for a person that is in support of Holly to come out and openly say, we don't know all the facts. Don't they always say that? We don't know all the facts. But then if you don't know all of the facts and you're admitting to not knowing all the facts, isn't it crazy to support someone who killed another person and there is no 100% fact that it was done justifiably, meaning that there's a possibility that it was done in cold blood? So you would gamble with the fact that it's a possibility that someone unjustifiably killed someone and support them without knowing all the facts? I'd rather support the victim without knowing all the facts. I mean, I'm sorry. I'd rather just say I support the victim until I know for sure that she had to do this. This was self-defense. I'd rather do that than support someone that took a life and I don't even know if it was justifiable. It's kind of just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. You know, I know everybody thinks differently, and this is not even shady. It's genuine curiosity. It's just genuine curiosity. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that's kind of strange, just to be like, you know, when somebody says something in support of Romika's family, or if something is questionable, like, hey, that don't really look right. Well, we don't know all the facts. Well, if we don't know all the facts, then why are you supporting this girl that murdered somebody? We don't know all the facts, and that means you don't know all the facts. So why are you? I don't get that. But let's move on from that. That's just gonna make my head spin. But so let's play this. Another thing that we know for sure is that a witness and Carlos agreed that the Miss Romika was walking away. This is another element that they ignore.
In this car, she walked off. What the hell? Yeah, because she got shot and walked off. You had in a fucking headlock and you know it.
So again, I'm gonna play this every time. He yells, she just walked off. What the hell? And he says, yeah, because she got shot and walked off. So why was another bullet necessary? And then why was another bullet necessary? Now the third bullet didn't hit her, but it was still fired. For what? At this point, you just shooting them up in the school zone for what? Why? Like, I don't know.
In this car, she walked off. What the hell? Yeah, because she got shot and walked off. You had in a fucking headlock and you know it.
Yeah, so she just walked off. What the hell? Yeah, she walked off because you shot her. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, y'all, to me. I mean, it's painfully obvious to me. I mean, I don't even drink, but when we get justice for Romika, I'm gonna have myself a glass of dinner wine, okay, and celebrate. I know that's right. Get you some sherry or some. My mom on holidays used to drink Mogan David. Yeah, he did also show. Let's play it again.
In this car,
She just walked off. What the hell?
Yeah, because she got shot and walked
You had
out.
in a fucking headlock and you know it. You fucking know it. You fucking know it. It's a big bogus as fuck. We heard you gonna get fucking shot, you asshole.
And then everyone was standing over there like, oh,
That is not the table on my head. She let her get shot.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I think happened. Again, y'all. All right. Now we know from the police report that one of the shells, the shells was found on the window shield of Holly's vehicle, from what I understand. One of the witnesses in this video here, you can hear her in the background yelling. She was in the doorway of the car. The Hispanic guy and Carlos both agree that she walked away. The Hispanic male and the Hispanic woman are both saying that Carlos had her in a headlock. It sounds to me, and I could be wrong, this is just how I imagine it. It sounds to me like the fight was over, if they had a fight, and Carlos had Romika in a headlock and was holding her. Sounds to me like Miss Holly was in her front doorway with her door open, and it sounds to me like she fired over her doorway, making the shell go onto the window sill. And the reason I say that is because of the position of Romika's body and the fact that the witness said she was in her doorway. So it sounds to me like she literally was inside her car. Literally. She definitely was not in contact with her at all. She wasn't in any contact with her. From what I am hearing the witnesses say, and from the ballistics, the medical examiner report, and the placement of the bullet, the shell. Not only that, the blood on her shoes. It all makes sense to me. But so how can she claim self-defense? Holly Scary. I don't think that she can claim self-defense. It was, in my opinion, it was not self-defense. If you are not fighting, if somebody is not having their hands on you, they're away from you, you cannot shoot them. I don't give a damn if they are advancing toward you. You are not able to do that. I'm sorry. You just can't. You just cannot. I would be very surprised if they drop charges. I would be very surprised. Very, very surprised. She's going to be charged with something, in my opinion. Her child was in that car. Yeah. But you just said she was probably paralyzed after the first shot. Yeah, I do think that I think that she was going down. So let me say this. After being shot, number one, let me say this. I don't know if she was shot in the leg or the face first, and neither does the medical examiner. So I don't know which one she was shot in. I don't know if she was shot in the face or the leg first. However, the bullet hit her in her chin and it had to travel to her spine. Okay? It didn't go directly to her spine. It had to travel to her spine. So I do think she was in the process. Let me change that. I think that she was in the process of being paralyzed. I think that she turned to try to walk away. And I think that she could have been trying to leave, but I think that she was not going to be able to walk much further. So the bullet, it shows on the medical report. Matter of fact, if you're new in here, you're just coming in, I'm having an anatomical expert come on my panel tomorrow, and she can probably explain better how she was able to turn after being shot. But the shot in the face, it initially went in the side of her chin and it traveled down to her spine. So I think that it is possible that she was paralyzed after a while. Yeah. But we know for a fact that she was shot in her face. We know for a fact that it traveled to her spine. We also know for a fact she was shot in her femur. Both of those shots are paralyzing shots. The femur shot is paralyzing, and so is the face shot, because it went down to her spine. However, she was obviously still able to turn and try to get away, because that's what Carlos said, and that's what the witness said. There's no debate on whether or not she was shot. We know she was shot. We know she tried to walk away. So either way, both statements are true. Lady Tuck says that is why they made the call at 9:37 to say they was fighting. Holly had a gun to say that. Yeah, after the situation was over. Gizmo said, or Carlos was acting like he was trying to stop Romika and Holly from fighting, but still held her to get shot. Yeah, I don't want to go as far as to say that just yet, because I think that's kind of a strong statement, because I don't know. Hey, Rakita. Marvel said, first off, how is they going to drop charges if she was never charged? Quadre is lying. You know what, Marvel? I said that too when I heard that. I heard him say that, and I said, the charge, she hasn't been shoot. Now, initially, when she was taken in, they charged her with first-degree murder. That's on paperwork. But the charges were quickly dropped because she said all the right things and she had all the right stuff. She had her TPO, she had a CCL, she had all of the right stuff. She said it was self-defense. They can only hold you for so long, so she doesn't even have charges. We're waiting for her to be charged. So I just don't listen. I don't control, but let me just say, Marvel, I noticed that too. He said that too. I just didn't say nothing because it is what it is with him. People do their platforms how they want to do them. If people think that Quadre is a credible, guy, then, God bless him. Have at it. I don't, it ain't my platform, not my problem. Nina Edwards said, Latoya M, something is definitely wrong with them. I can't believe they can't see anything wrong with this picture. Justice for Romika. Yeah. If the family get a lawyer now, Holly will be in jail now, period. When you listen to the video, you can hear a lot of things. You can. Let me see. All of this just points to plan premeditated for me. Just the basic information. It's like, Holly, why were you over there on the day you killed me? Yeah. Upper, I appreciate this live. I needed this after having to look in Q-Face tonight. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So how can she? I read that already. Go down. Hey, Delightful Treasure, welcome in. She said, hey, Upper. It's still crazy how she showed the girl from a distance but had bloody hands. Shot the girl from there but had bloody hands. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. You guys, I'm getting ready to go ahead and get off in a moment, but I'm glad you guys came and listened to me. And before we do get off, I do want to, because we've been on for a while, and the reason that I initially went live, I want to make sure that that is hold on. Is this going? No, that's not it. I want to make sure that the initial reason that I went live is gone over one last time. And is this the one that I was looking at? Yeah, but that's not what I want. Hold on. It's okay. I want to go over just a quick summary. The reason that I initially went live. The reason that I went not live initially is just to remind you guys that uh, the young lady Holly Johnson was definitely in a school zone. Okay, not only was she in a school zone, but from what I heard, it was then after that was proven and shown, then it was said that she was not within 1,000 feet from the school. So what I ended up doing was actually uploading the map to Chat GPT and asking Chat GPT if the incident of the crime scene was within 1,000 feet of the school. Now, Chat GPT analyzed the map and was able to determine that absolutely not only was Holly in a school zone, but she was also within 1,000 feet from the school. And the reason why that's important is because it will affect what she's charged with. If this killing was an unjustified killing and she is charged and this is determined not to be self-defense, then she will also be charged with firing in a school zone unjustifiably within 1,000 feet from a school property. So I just wanted to make that clear. Everybody clear on that? Miss Holly was in the school zone and Miss Holly was within 1,000 feet of school property. Okay. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining me tonight. I enjoyed you guys. I enjoyed your comments and all of your support and everything that you guys do. And you guys play a big part as well as the content creators or anyone else that is advocating for Romika, because y'all actually come in here and listen to it and you guys share it, which is really important. Just make sure that you share it out, whether it be on your Facebook pages. If you guys also have YouTube channels or whatever, share the information out. You know, that's to me, I think is one of the biggest things is one thing going live, but it's another thing making sure that, you know, what you're talking about reaches the masses, because it's a lot of things that just simply are not true that are being said. And if people don't come out and speak out about those things that are being said that's not true, there's a possibility that this person is going to be painted in a certain light that she shouldn't be painted in. You know, we got to make sure that what you know, people, you know, that support Holly are working overtime to show that she was a terrible person. And I feel that if people are working overtime to show that she was such a horrible human being, well, I also need to work overtime to dispute that. And I also need to work overtime to show that Holly was no angel, and that Holly, because again, the people that support Holly, they are in overdrive mode, trying to show that Romika had other options. So I'm going to do my part in showing that, hey, let's be fair here. Holly had other options. I'm not sure, Erica Johnson, what doorway she was in. I was just giving an example of what it could have been. I don't know. All I heard was she was in the doorway, and that could have been any doorway. If she was, it could have been any doorway, you know. I guess that'll come out later. So that's my purpose. As I sit back and watch the case progress, and as I watch how Romika's name is drugged through the mud and disparaged, I'm going to be trying to work just as hard as not dragging Holly, not dragging her, but showing that she had other options. And I think that that's the key thing when disproving a self-defense case, especially in a homicide. Because in a homicide, when you claim self-defense, you should have no other options. It's not something that is a choice. You can't say, well, I could do this, but I'd rather shoot you. It doesn't work like that. You don't shoot somebody just because you can. You don't shoot somebody just because you want to. You shoot somebody because you have to. You take a life because you have to. You don't take a life because you're mad. You don't take a life because you don't feel like fighting. You don't take a life for any other reason other than you have to. You have no way out. There's nothing more for you to do. There are no other options in that situation. You can't get in your car. You can't pull away. You can't roll the windows up. You're not able to call the police. You're cornered. There's nothing for you to do. And if any other options existed within that scenario, then Holly was wrong in the eyes of the law. Not in my eyes, in the eyes of the law, because we're talking about facts. In the eyes of the law, she was wrong if she had an other option other than killing Romeka. It doesn't matter if you wouldn't have run away. It doesn't matter if you don't fight people. It doesn't matter. I said this before. If you're too old to fight, it doesn't matter that you have a gun and you're not about to, get out of breath trying to fight somebody. No, it doesn't work that way. Somebody can't punch you and then you shoot them. It doesn't work that way, not in the state of Illinois. So it's called meeting force with force. That is a law. Meeting force with force is layman terms for proportionality. But anyway, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm tired. Y'all have a good night. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell and hype me up. All right, y'all. Peace.
Name is the upper echelon, she a debater, baby. She can give it to you straight, no chaser. She got the smarts, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated, stupid can't play with smart. She got the smart, she got the heart, she got the confidence, baby, she the upper echelon. You know you intimidated, stupid can't play with smart.